Welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the boxes sitting in front of me, today is unboxing day. We are about to unbox and take a look at the Harriet Tubman $1 Commemorative Proof Coin and the Half-Dollar Commemorative Proof Coin. But before we actually tear open the boxes and get into the coin itself, let's do some real quick housekeeping and then take a look at the life of Harriet Tubman. As I did some digging this week on the U.S. Mint website, I realized that the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker quarter is not getting released until June 17th this year. So I will not have a video for that and an unboxing for that until June 24th. So our new updated calendar is as follows. Next Monday, we will be doing the $1 innovation coin. On June 10th, we will do the Illinois Innovation Dollar unboxing. On June 17th, we will unbox the Alabama Innovation Dollar. So this is just the updated schedule of what is going to happen this month. Once again, I apologize for being wrong about the dates for the past couple of months that I've been saying that hopefully by June 10th, we will be doing Dr. Mary Edwards Walker. It looks like that will not be until June 24th. Anyhow, let's now talk about Harriet Tubman. I have to say that I have always been fascinated by the Underground Railroad. It started from a really early age. We moved into a suburb of Cincinnati when I was in kindergarten, first, second, third grade. So 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And the house that we moved into was built in the 1800s. And it was a large house. This was what would have been probably a very wealthy community in the 1800s. These were all very large houses. At the time that I lived there, it was sort of upper middle class, but these houses were still very large. In the basement of the house that we moved into, there were tunnels that were used by the Underground Railroad. Now, so I had learned, I didn't have a good concept of what the Underground Railroad was. What I knew, what my parents told me, that there were sealed off tunnels in the basement because you could see they were sealed off. And they explained to me that this was how people used to sneak slaves to safety. And so as I got older and learned the name Underground Railroad and I had a better understanding of what was going on in the house that I lived in, I came to appreciate the Underground Railroad even more. Apparently the tunnels in the house, one of the tunnels led to a gazebo, underneath a gazebo we had in the backyard. One of the tunnels led to another house in the neighborhood, and the third tunnel led to someplace off of the main highway, quite a distance away. So that's just a brief history of how I learned about the Underground Railroad and why it means so much to me. Anyhow, born into slavery in Maryland circa 1822, her birth name was Araminta Ross. She escaped slavery in 1849 and subsequently made numerous trips to the South, leading over 70 slaves to freedom via the Underground Railroad. So she was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. And one of the cool things that I learned about the Underground Railroad is that as they were sneaking through areas and regions, people who were sympathetic to the Underground Railroad or who helped the Underground Railroad would hang quilts on a clothesline or from a windowsill. And in the patchwork of these quilts, they would have sewn pieces of fabric that had an image on them that were messages for the conductors of the Underground Railroad. For example, you may look at a quilt and somewhere in the image, somewhere on the quilt was an image of a bow tie. And that let everybody coming through the area know that they need to dress in disguise to appear like they are of better standing than they really are. Or there would be a bear paw on a quilt that would let them know that if they follow an animal trail up the road into the mountains, they will be able to get food and water. Or there'd be a log, for example, a log cabin on the quilt, and that let people coming by know that they could stop and rest, that the people at this house or in this area were safe for them to interact with. And so that's just a little look at how the Underground Railroad communicated with people who were trying to get to safety. She was known as Moses for her leadership and bravery in guiding others to freedom. She served as a scout, a spy, and a nurse for the Union Army during the American Civil War. After the war, she advocated for women's suffrage and cared for the elderly and sick in Auburn, New York. And she died on March 10th, 1913 in Auburn, New York, and she was remembered as an American abolitionist and political activist. Now, I have some notes because I couldn't write everything on the screen. It would all blend together and it wouldn't be readable. So let's just start it. In 1862, she joined the Army as a nurse, and she also served as a scout and a spy. She was the first woman to lead an armed expedition in the Civil War, which was the Combahee River Raid, which resulted in over 700 people being freed. After the Civil War, she continued to champion causes that she believed in, and she was an active suffragist fighting for women's rights to vote, and she also worked to provide care for newly freed people. So she was a nurse. She was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. She was a spy. She was a scout. She led armed raids to save more people who were enslaved. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart, she truly was an action hero. It's phenomenal. Any one of these things, just being a conductor on the Underground Railroad or just serving as a nurse in the Civil War could have gotten her recognized. But she just has this list of things that she did that are just incredible in my mind. And I am really glad that they made these commemorative coins for Harriet Tubman. There was talk several years ago that they were thinking about putting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. And that has fallen to the wayside, but that would have been cool too. Anyhow, let's take a look at the images of the coin and look at the design and detail. We're going to start with the design imagery of the commemorative $half-dollar. And this is the obverse of the coin. And you can see Harriet Tubman here depicted. And in the background, you see a boat crossing a river with other ships. They're Civil War era boats. And this whole obverse here is set to depict her leading the raid, the Combahee River raid into South Carolina. And then you can see that we have Renata Gordon as the sculptor and Don Everhart as the designer. And you can see the DE and the RG circled there. And I feel that this is, because they had two designs, I feel that this is a good way to honor her by just depicting one of the many things that she is known for and not putting too much imagery and too many things on the obverse of this coin. Let's real quick take a look at the reverse. And we can see that once again, we're just looking at one particular scene. She's standing there with a spyglass in her hand, which represents her time as a spy during the Civil War. Around the rim are some of the things that she's credited for during the war. It says Civil War nurse, scout, and spy. E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. You can see there then below E pluribus unum, it says $half-dollar with United States of America on the left of Harriet Tubman. And the tents in the background represent a Civil War encampment. And then at the bottom, it designates Combahee River Raid leader. And then the sculptor is John P. McGraw, and the designer is Tom Hipshin. And you can see Tom Hipshin's initials on the left and John P. McGraw's initials on the right-hand side of this coin. And so this is the Harriet Tubman $half-dollar commemorative proof coin. Now let's jump over to the camera and take a look at the unboxing of this coin. I started opening the box so that I wouldn't embarrass myself on stream by fighting with a box, because that's generally what happens with this U.S. Mint packaging. So let's just, hold on, let me turn the microphone here. Let's just open up this box and see what the packaging looks like. And once again, I am going to fight with this box because it's not, oh, ha, I'm an idiot. I opened the sides and I didn't take the tape off. See? These boxes make me look stupid. Well, actually, I make me look stupid. So now let's open the box and take a look at the packaging. The first thing I notice is that they have changed the design of the packaging itself. They used to come in blue boxes that said U.S. Mint on the outside. And now they have a picture of Harriet Tubman with shackles or chains on the front, and it says 2024 Commemorative Proof Coin, proof clad $half. And the reason it's a proof clad $half is because that's all that they made for the $half was clad. They did not make a silver $half, or I would have gotten that one. So now we do have a black box right here. And inside of this black box, more paperwork, probably the certificate of authenticity. And then we have the coin itself, and let's see if I can get some focus on the coin. And there is, of course, the obverse of the coin that we just saw the imagery of. I love proof coins. I love the way they look. I love the contrast in, and you can see my fingerprints on the capsule. my bad. They have like that smooth feel and like this frosted imagery around that very smooth, very shiny field. And I just think this is a super nice looking coin. The imagery that we looked at. Oh, come on, camera. I know why you're freezing. I just don't know how to fix it. I'm horrible. I apologize. My ability with cameras, etc., is terrible. I don't quite understand why I'm so bad at this. I shouldn't be. I've done the research. I just can't get things dialed in the way they need to be. But anyhow, this is the Harriet Tubman Commemorative $half Proof Coin. Let's take a look at the imagery for the dollar, and then we will unbox the dollar Commemorative Proof Coin. Now, looking at the obverse of the $1 Commemorative Proof Coin, it just shows Harriet Tubman standing there with her hand outstretched, offering for the viewer to take her hand and get led to their freedom. Super simplistic design. Harriet Tubman on the left, Liberty on the right, In God We Trust, 2024, Philadelphia Mint, which I think is interesting. This is a silver proof coin, and it was minted in Philadelphia instead of West Point or San Francisco. So that's an interesting switch to this. Phoebe Hemphill was the sculptor, and Beth Zakin was the designer, and you can see their initials there circled. And then on the reverse of this coin, we see silhouettes of people crossing a bridge made of clasped hands. And I think that's a cool design. I can't wait to see what that looks like on the actual coin itself. Once again, E pluribus unum at the bottom, $1 below that. The Big Dipper pointing the way to the North Star, which forms the O in the world, the O in the word of. Craig A. Campbell was the sculptor, and Beth Zakin was the designer on this coin also, and you can see their initials there circled. That's a really cool design. I love the way the O in the of is the North Star. And it also, and it doesn't say this, but that's very reminiscent of a compass. I mean, I realize that they did use the North Star as sort of a night compass, but just instead of it just being the North Star, it's the North Star and a compass at the same time. I think that's a cool design. So anyhow, let's jump over to the camera and take an actual look at the coin itself. And here we are. I, however, was prepared for the box this time, and I have cut the tape. And let me pull this out. There we go. There's our black box. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at this real quick. This just says Harriet Tubman Commemorative Coin Program Proof Silver Dollar. And it has the same image on the front. And then on the back, it's just the seal of the U.S. Mint and nothing really that spectacular. Anyhow, let's open our box. Oh, look at this. This comes in a nifty little... Look at that. Of course, there's nothing in here to help pull this out. Once again, the frosted imagery on the very, very mirror-like shiny field. Harriet Tubman. Will you focus? 2024 with the P mint mark in there. And then on the reverse, we can see all of the imagery that we looked at in the illustration. The people are of the same mirror as the field. The hands are the frosted look. That's just a very, very, very nice looking coin. And I am glad that I am taking a look at it and that I purchased it. I'm very happy with the product that I have gotten here, and I'm glad that I could show everybody these coins because I think they were very, very nicely done. One more thing that I wanted to mention real quick that I haven't talked about in a year or so is if you have two coins and they're both proof coins and one's silver and one's just a clad proof coin and you can't tell the difference, I'm going to teach you a trick. Now, I realize here we can't tell the difference. Obviously, the dollar is bigger than the half dollar, but let's say you had a silver proof quarter and a proof quarter and couldn't tell which one is which. There's a Kleenex trick. Now, there are other ways to do it, and this isn't scientifically proven. I don't know if other metals will give this sort of reaction to a Kleenex. But if you cover the coins in a Kleenex, you will get a white glow from the silver coin, whereas the clad coin looks like just a clad coin showing through the Kleenex. So that's just a little trick that you can do if you're having trouble telling the difference between a silver proof and a clad proof coin. And then in closing, I just wanted to show the calendar again. Once again, next Monday, the $1 innovation coin introduction. And then on June 10th and 17th, we will do an unboxing of the Illinois and then the Alabama innovation dollar. And then on June 24th, we will do the Dr. Mary Edwards Walker unboxing for her Women's Quarters Program coin, because that gets released and it'll get shipped on the 17th. And so I'm sure that I will have it by the 24th in order to have that video out. I would just like to thank everybody for tuning in. And if you have any comments, questions, or criticisms, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. I respond to all comments, I read all comments, and I take criticism very well. Anyhow, I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that you all have a great week.